Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about the super chaotic episode 18 from You and Idol PreCure. Oh my god, I feel torn because I had so much fun. I laughed so much with this episode, but at the same time we have Zukun and Kiss, those two mysterious figures, and we know who they are and what happened to them and the consequences of the choice that was made in episode 17, and that is what we start the episode with. The first scene of this episode is Zukun looking at Hanamichi Town, and she does not remember a thing. She does not remember anything about Hanamichi Town. Her memory was gone. Everything that happened was gone. And it's different with Kiss because Kiss remembers Hanamichi Town, and she probably remembers all of the events with the idol precures, between the idol precures and Purirun. Her memory loss was another thing. Her emotion that is locked is a different one. So I'm curious. We're going to discuss that over the episode, but it is clear at that point that it's clear what happened to Purirun, and then it's clear what happened to Maruran as well. Where is my Maruran? Here she is. Look at her with the pineapple hair. She's so cute. Look, I love Maruran so much. But there is a difference because Maruran used to call Zukun or Purirun Netama. And now she calls her Onesama, which is a different form of relationship entirely. It's way more formal. It is different. And it just shows the distance between them now and how they are not the same and how Kiss's feelings to Zukun are not the same as well. And then we get to Uta. Uta is waking up. She was obviously dreaming about Zukun, and then when she thinks it's Purirun by her side, it's actually Zukun. She is imagining Zukun right there by her side, and then she remembers Purirun, and then she starts wondering how Purirun is doing in Kiraki Land. She hasn't come back yet, but then she goes back into Zukun mode. She is crazy about Zukun, and she cannot think of something else. We have another nice scenario here that reminded me a lot of the early days of You and Idol. Girl, can we already say this? But it's very kind of nostalgic. I know that's not the right word, but another word cannot come to my mind right now. The early episodes, this first moment felt like an early episode of You and Idol with the whole society discovering those new idols and being big fans of them. People at school were talking about them at the same time that Uta was daydreaming. And girl, I just have to say this. Nana, she shines so much every time. And in this episode, everyone was able to have their moment, even though the focus was on Uta. Nana, she took what Uta was feeling so seriously. Nana is wild. She was like super worried about Uta, and then she went to see Kokoro in the Idol Research Club. And Idol Research Club here has been researching Zukun and Kiss as well. And we also know that Zukun and Kiss were on TV. We are introduced by that through Nana's eyes and Nana's experience as well. And then when it gets to the Idol Research Club, everyone is being very happy about Zukun and Kiss. But then we have Kokoro, who is also part of the group, but she's also a part of the Idol Precures secretly. And she is breaking the fourth wall. I love that scene. That's one of my favorite scenes of the season so far. She broke the fourth wall by saying like, girl, okay, Zukun and Kiss are very famous. I love them. I'm a big fan. But Wink and Idol are still my favorites. And, that's an ode to her own character. I love this. And then when she goes out, she sees what Uta is feeling. And for her, it is clear. Uta is now totally Zukuned by Zukun. And she has been diagnosed as a fan. And Kokoro is very happy because it is finally her time to showcase all of her idol knowledge. And I love when she does that because that is very real to the idol fandom. Whenever you are a fan of an idol, this episode was able to capture the feeling perfectly. And then she starts explaining about what an oshi is and the oshikatsu, which is the activities of you as a fan of your oshi. Oshi is your favorite member of an idol group. And oshikatsu is the activities that you do. I don't remember how it was translated. It's the activities that you do based on your favorites. So you get your bag, you start buying the merch of your favorite, you start talking about your favorite to everybody, you start promoting your favorite to the world. And that is super true. And she also talks about a swamp, which is when you are so into your favorite and you are so into your favorite group or your favorite member that you cannot think of anything else. You cannot do anything else. And then you go on this swamp. And it is funny when she is talking about that because she is holding Cure Idols and Cure Wink's Kirakilites. And the Kirakilites are there to represent her own swamp, Kokoro's swamp, because Kokoro has had her heart captured by both Idol and Wink. Both of them are her oshis. She can't really choose a favorite between both. And both of them were brought to the club, and they are now part of the club. And it was very funny because Nana was like, "Oh, I'm part of the club too now?" Like, why? And they're like, "Oh, Nana, welcome to the Idol Research Club. Who's your favorite?" And she's like, "Oh my God, everyone but Cure Wink." Oh, okay. I said that Kokoro breaking the fourth wall was one of my favorite scenes of the franchise, of the season. And I have to say, this one is also another one of my favorites. I laughed so loud at that scene. That scene was perfect. It was perfect. I loved that scene. And it was so funny. And then the other members were all praising Wink, and there were even some saying like, "Oh, Wink is my favorite. I love her. She's so cute," and everything else. And then Cure Idol says that she loves Wink and Kyun Kyun, but then choosing a favorite has to be Cure Zukun. And then she goes home. And when she goes to Cafe Glitter, we have our first glimpse as to the summer costumes of the girls. And everyone is so excited. Not everyone. Uta is so excited that her will to live changes. And that, again, is another thing about idols. Because whenever you find a favorite, she or he or they power you up. Your favorite idol will power you up. The feeling you have for your idol will motivate you. It will make you do things that you need to do in your life. It will fill you up with energy. That is so real. I love it. And, Uta doing all of the things that she had to do, it was everything. But then we get to a moment in which the girls are watching the performance in the camera, and then when they press the button to go to the next video, it is Purirun's video. And they start wondering. It's been a while since Purirun has been to Kirakiland with Marathon. They haven't come back. What is going on? They're a little worried. And then Uta's like, let's trust Purirun. We have to trust Purirun. And Tanaka comes in and says, okay, I need to say something. I am going to Kirakiland. It's been a while since Picarine has contacted us, so I'm going there. And I'm curious, does Picarine know what happened? I think it seems to me that Picarine is kind of omniscient. She knows what's been going on. She knows what the characters are doing. Sometimes she interferes, sometimes she doesn't. She asked Marathon to not use the hard Kirari lock. They have used the hard Kirari lock. I wonder how she is feeling, and I wonder if she is trying to preserve Purirun and Marathon, which was their wish nonetheless. It was their own sacrifice, and maybe she is respecting that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to understand what and how Picarine is acting or not acting, and why she is doing what she is not doing. But, she's out of this episode. We don't really know what is going on in Picarine's side. I hope we have more answers to that with Tanaka. Let's wait and see. And then when we get to the villain side, Team Chokiri, it's very funny because Kari is gone. And Chokirine says that Kari was engulfed by darkness because he was captured by Dark Ine. That is her version of the story. And in here we have some possibilities. The first possibility is that Chokirine knows that Dark Ine captured Kari and turned him into Katinda, and she doesn't know what happened after. And maybe she thinks that was his end. Second, she is keeping it a secret from Zakuri that Kari has been purified and is not part of Team Chokiri any longer. Or third, after going away last episode, Kari was captured by Dark Ine and is being kept in darkness by her. I really hope it's the second option because I want to see my man Kari happy. I don't want Dark Ine capturing him and manipulating him, brainwashing him, whatever. Please do not touch my man Kari, okay? That is the worst thing you can ever do to someone. And then Zakuri is pissed because now he's gonna be left all by himself. And he even tells Chokirine, you don't go to work, you don't do anything. So everything is going to be made by me? He was pissed, baby. But Chokirine is like, what did you say? I was like, no, I did not say anything. And then he gets ready to attack. And he is the only one left because Chokirine does not like working that much. She's a legend, so she's a diva. She serves. That is enough. And since we're dealing with new cures, let us talk about a new idol group in today's episode of Idol Corner. Today's episode of Idol Corner is all about Pixel Ribbon. Pixel Ribbon is a group that debuted very recently in February 2025, so it's still a new group, perfect fitting for the recent debut of Zukun and Kiss. With 6 members, the group name Pixel Ribbon represents the idea that each member can become a pixel that creates a story that's about to begin or a scene in someone's life. By uniting all the members as one ribbon, their personalities will blossom and Pixel Ribbon is born. Since the group is still new, there aren't many releases, making it the perfect opportunity to get to know the songs and the members that are all full of cuteness. For you to get to know Pixel Ribbon, check out these songs. Kata Omoi Inflation, Wednesday Skip, and their debut song that takes the name of the group, Pixel Ribbon. Pixel Ribbon is super cute and it's the perfect opportunity to get to know a new idol group. And so we get to Zakuri attacking, and Zakuri's attack here is a very interesting one because in this episode, we had a lot of focus on Zukun and Zukun and Zukun and Zukun, but we also have Kiss. And what did they do to remind us that Zukun is not the only one? The victim of the day is a huge fan of Kiss, and she wanted to style her hair just like Kiss. And that's what happened. We saw that it was a great way of including Kiss more into the action, including Kiss more into the narrative. That was very nice. And then the Kureaminda of the day appeared, the girls arrived, they transform, and then we have the start of the fighting scene. And this is the downside of this episode to me for one specific reason that I really do not understand. So we start the fight and the Kureaminda attacks, and then Curewink jumps in, she creates her barrier, and the barrier breaks. Look, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I mean, it does make sense when we remember all the other PreCure seasons and we think about how the cures become weaker when new cures join the team. And that's the only explanation for today. Curewink's barrier was able to work every single time, except when we had stronger enemies. It broke twice. One of them was against Katinda, which was the strongest enemy we had so far in the show. And the second time was when they summoned 3 different monsters, and the 3 different monsters attacked at the same time in the barrier. Today, it was a regular monster. It should not have broken. The Cure is having a hard time. Also very weird. It was normal. But I will give the benefit of the doubt because Puririn was not rooting for them. And Puririn not rooting for them makes sense for them to be a little weaker because we know how having someone root for you makes you stronger in this season. This is a point that the season has made, but it does not excuse the barrier. It does not excuse the barrier. It was awful. And that was it, basically. That was the battle. And then we have Zukun and Kiss appearing to protect the girls. And here we have a scenario in which we already know that Zukun remembers absolutely nothing. And then Zukun joins in and she just says, I am here to protect Cure Idol. That's what she says. And okay, we know the sacrifice. We know what's been going on behind the truth behind Zukun. But on the other side, we have Cure Idol. And Cure Idol was already going crazy just with the presence of Zukun. And then Zukun says that. She basically combusted. And it was interesting because, like, okay, we have new cures and no one is wondering about that. And then we have Cure Kyun arriving and going into Cure Kiss and saying, girl, you're also an idol PreCure, right? And then Cure Kiss looks at her and says, I don't know if I can say that. And then they just basically ignore what the girls are saying, what the events of, like, the dialogues and everything. It just doesn't really matter for them. For Zukun, it's like, I need to protect Cure Idol. And in Kiss's case, I'm going to get there. It's a little different. It's a little weird to me. And so they jump in. They use their minor attacks. And girl. Oh my goodness. So we have Kiss shock. And I am shook. I am honestly, I don't even know what to say. What was that? What perfection was that? And then we also have Zukun Bazooka. I love this name. I love the two names. Perfection. Two perfections at the same. So like the fighting scene of this episode was not good. But then we have the stock footage of those two attacks that were jaw-dropping. What the hell was that? Oh my God. It was perfection. And then when Zukun was going to use her minor attack, we have Kiss using her familiar again to create a little trampoline for her. Oh my goodness. Why can you, how can you both be so perfect? Oh my God. It was everything. And then they both sang and defeated the Kureyaminda of the day. Slaying as always. Cure Zukun and Cure Kiss, you are both perfect. Oh my goodness, I am going crazy. I still feel like Cure Zukun and Cure Kiss, they deserve a good fighting scene because all of the Cures this season had good fighting scenes, except for them. They did not have a good fighting scene yet. So I'm expecting that. Maybe next week. I don't know. But I'm expecting that. And I feel so happy with their arrival. But then at the same time, I feel so sad. Because then after that, we have Cure Idol getting all crazy. She couldn't even stand still. She was in the ground and she was all happy. I love Kyun's comments. They're always on point. And I feel like Kyun or Kokoro, she is the character that is translating the idol world to a regular audience. I love it. That's her role. And I mean, not only that, but that is one of the roles of her character in the show, and that is so good. She does it so well. She is the most serious character in the show. Now we have Marodon as well. I feel like both of them, but I feel like Kokoro is the one that is the most serious character out of the bunch, and I really like that about her. And we get into a scene in which Cure Idol, she's trying to talk to Zukun. It's very hard for her. She says that she wants to become Zukun's friend. And then she changes the words and says, can we at least be friendly towards each other? And Zukun says, of course we can. Yes, we're going to be friendly. And then Cure Kiss jumps in and says, no, actually, Zukun, we cannot, girl. Let's go. Our mission here is done. And then they go. And while they're going, Zukun even says goodbye to the girls, and then they keep on jumping away. And Zukun is like, why can't we be friendly towards them? And Kiss, she uses her poetic language to explain. And okay, it was not a very good explanation because it was very poetic. It's hard to understand what she's meaning. But basically what she said was, the road that they decided to take is a lonely one, and it's only both of them. That's what she said. And then at the end, Kira Idol decides to go run after them because she's crazy about Zukun and she cannot do anything else. So now I'm going to go into theory realm because the episode was purposefully hiding information from us. So we have Zukun, and Zukun lost all of the memories from everything that happened in You and Idol so far. It's a new resetted Purirun. That is because that was her sacrifice, to forget her memories with the idol PreCure, and to forget all of the memories with Uta. She has to forget everything because everything that she's been through has been with Uta. And since the first moment she arrived in Kiraki Land, when the peach opened, she was there with Uta already. And so there was no way that she could remember anything about Kiraki Land if she had to forget about the idol PreCure, because everything that she's lived in Kiraki Land, not in Kiraki Land, I'm sorry, in Hanamichi Town, everything that she's lived in Hanamichi Town is because of the idol PreCure, is related to the idol PreCure. So all of the memories from her are gone. And we have Maruran. Maruran, or Cure Kiss, is a different case. Her memories are different. She decided to sacrifice her feelings towards Purirun. And we can see that here because there's some sort of coldness towards her, from Kiss towards Zukun. She doesn't have the affectionate way of calling her anymore. It's not Netama, it's Onesama. It's different, it's cold, it's placid. At the same time, everything that she lived in Hanamichi Town, together with the idol PreCures and everything else apart from Purirun, is still there in her memories because she locked away her emotion and her feelings. That was what mattered the most to her. So she does not love Purirun as she did before. So she locked her feelings away, but her memories are still there. She just doesn't have the same feelings. And so she is also wanting to protect, and here is a theory. Here's a theory. She wants to protect Purirun's and her new identity. She wants to protect Zukun Kiss, I think, because maybe if the memories leave the lock, they lose what they wished for. So I don't know. Maybe that's a condition that we don't know of, and that maybe a miracle is going to happen, that they retain their memories and the powers. But maybe she thinks it's not possible. That is why she does not want the connection to exist again. She wants to keep Purirun away from Uta. But why? If they construct a new relationship, that wouldn't be a problem, right? Well, maybe she thinks that if she meets Uta, if she keeps on being with Uta too much, she will remember everything and the magic will disappear. And that is a theory of mine because we don't really know what will happen if Purirun remembers. Is Purirun going to suffer if she remembers and she notices that she's been away from Uta all this time? Is that also what Maruran wants to protect? It is confusing. And I love it because we're on episode 18. So there's so much story for us to go with. And there's a lot of things to happen in this season. And I am curious because I've been loving the storytelling. It's very, very good. I just wish they need to bring back the exciting fighting scenes that we had, because You and Idol has a lot of great fighting scenes. But since last week, we still need them. I just have to say, I love the stock footage though. The Awakening Harmony song and also the new ones that we got in this episode. And I'm pretty sure the transformations are also going to be amazing. Girl, Kiss Shock, and Zukun Bazooka are tattooed in my heart already. I love them. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. Here is Pineapple Merodon. I love her so much. And it is time to say goodbye. So, what did you think of episode 18 from You and Idol PreCure? Please let me know. Please let me know in the comment box below. And I just want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member, thank you very much for your support here on YouTube, on Patreon, on Throne. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. You keep me going. And if you watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time.